General overview. You're looking at the cover for highlights from Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds. This is the condensed CD edition of Jeff Wayne's famous 1978 musical adaptation of H.G. Wells's classic science fiction novel. The artwork is iconic. Many people recognize it instantly even if they've never heard the album, because it became the visual identity of the musical. The image displays one of the Martian fighting machines, rendered in a retro-futuristic, almost painterly science fiction illustration style typical of 1970s album art. Artwork details. 1. The tripod machine. The album shows a massive three-legged Martian war machine, often referred to simply as a tripod. It has a bulbous metallic body, smooth, reflective, almost like a cross between a deep-sea submersible and a UFO. Two green glassy eyes sit on top, hinting at sensors or pilot viewports. The design is mechanical yet organic, mirroring how early sci-fi loaded semi-biological machines. The legs are impossibly tall and slender, giving a spider-like stance. They're jointed with metallic connectors, making the whole thing look both graceful and terrifying. 2. Heat ray in action. From underneath the machine, a red-orange beam strikes the ground. This is the Martian heat ray described in the original novel, a weapon that incinerates anything it touches. You can see smoke or dust illuminated by the ray, giving the scene movement and drama. 3. Human figure in resistance. In the lower right corner, a lone human stands on a rock or ridge, raising what looks like a bayonet or a rifle with a shining point. He's tiny compared to the towering machine, emphasizing the scale difference and the feelings of futility and desperation that mark the story. It's classic pulpy sci-fi imagery, humanity dwarfed by alien technology. 4. Color palette. The palette is dark and smoky, deep blacks, browns, oranges. The tripod's body contrasts with metallic silver and hints of green. This stark lighting helps focus your eye on the confrontation between human and machine. Text elements. The album title is arranged at the top in stylized, dramatic lettering, highlights from Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds. The typography is flamboyant, curved, Broadway-like, steeped in theatrical energy. It signals clearly that this is not a film soundtrack but a musical concept album. Physical details of your copy. The CD is inside a standard clear jewel case. The plastic shows slight scuffs or scratches, normal for older CDs. The cover art insert is printed cleanly and appears original, not a reprint. Thematic tone. The image really eats into the vibe of apocalyptic Victorian science fiction. It mixes dread, awe, and a touch of romanticized heroism, the lone human facing a cosmic invader. The whole cover tells you exactly what the music will feel like, dramatic, narrative-driven, and larger than life. General impression. The back cover keeps the Victorian science fiction theatrical vibe from the front but shifts the focus to clarity and structure. You get a complete track list. Credits for music, lyrics, script, and featured artists. A subtle background image of a tripod machine to tie everything together. The mood is calm and almost museum-like, letting the music credits take center stage while still reminding you of the epic alien invasion that defines the album. Layout and design elements. Color scheme. A deep navy blue background dominates, giving the text strong contrast and creating a nighttime atmosphere, fitting for a story about humanity facing cosmic doom. Orange accents frame the track numbers, matching the fiery heat ray theme. Typography. Decorative flourishes around each track heading bring in a Victorian/Edwardian touch, echoing the era of H.G. Wells's original novel. The fonts are serif-based and theatrical, again consistent with the musical identity. Background illustration. Faintly visible behind the text is the same style of Martian tripod seen on the front. It's deliberately low contrast so it doesn't interfere with readability. The result is elegant, The machine looms like a ghostly presence. Track list with notable details. The album contains 10 tracks, all highlight cuts from the full musical. Each track lists composer/lyricist/scriptwriter, featured vocalists or narrators. This is where the album really shows its special character. Jeff Wayne's concept album works like a narrated rock opera, so vocal credits matter as much as the track titles. Track 1. The Eve of the War, 5:04 minutes. Music and lyrics by Jeff Wayne. Script by Doreen Wayne. Featuring Richard Burton. Narration. And Justin Hayward. Vocals. This is one of the most iconic pieces from the musical, the opening fanfare with its pulsing synth bassline. Track 2. Horsel Common and the Heat Ray. 4:45 minutes. Purely instrumental, composed by Jeff Wayne. This is the dramatic escalation, where the Martians reveal their heat ray. Track 3. Forever Autumn. 4:31 minutes. Music by Jeff Wayne. Lyrics by Paul McGrath and Gary Osborne. Featuring Justin Hayward. A soft, melancholic ballad that became a standalone hit. Track 4. The Fighting Machine. 4:25 minutes. Music by Jeff Wayne. Another instrumental giant, heavy emphasis on the menacing Martian call. Track 5, Thunder Child. 5:09 minutes. Music by Jeff Wayne. Lyrics by Gary Osborne. Featuring Chris Thompson. A rock-style song recounting the naval battle. Track 6, The Red Weed. 6:06 minutes. Music by Jeff Wayne. Script by Doreen Wayne. Featuring Richard Burton. A slower, atmospheric track representing the spreading Martian vegetation. Track 7. The Spirit of Man. 6:44 minutes. Music by Jeff Wayne. Lyrics by Gary Osborne. Featuring Phil Lynott and Julie Covington. One of the more dramatic exchanges, almost a duet argument between hope and despair. Track 8. Dead London. 5:25 minutes. Music by Jeff Wayne. Script by Doreen Wayne. Featuring Richard Burton. The final destruction and collapse of the Martian invasion. Track 9. Brave New World. 6:11 minutes. Music by Jeff Wayne. Lyrics by Gary Osborne. Script by Doreen Wayne. Featuring David Essex. A dystopian dream of rebuilding the future. Track 10. The Spirit of Man. 2007 mix. 4:15 minutes. Music by Jeff Wayne. Lyrics by Gary Osborne. Featuring Phil Lynott and Julie Covington. This bonus track is a modern remixed cut, slightly cleaner production, more polished highs. Label, copyright, and production details. At the bottom you see a dense block of small text. Copyright 2007 Ollie Record Productions. Licensed to Sony BMG Music Entertainment UK Limited. Distributed by Sony BMG. Made in the EU. Columbia Records branding. Barcode printed clearly on the right. 8869710606627. The presence of the 2007 date confirms this is the remastered highlights edition rather than the original 1978 CD press. The ORP logo stands for Ollie Record Productions, Jeff Wayne's own company. Thematic tone. This back cover wants to feel like a neatly catalogued relic from a parallel history museum of the Martian War. It's orderly, almost scholarly, but still haunted by the giant tripod looming behind the text. The vibe blends. Theatrical grandiosity. Late 72's concept album science fiction aesthetics. Victorian invasion literature drama. Exactly what Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds is all about. Overall impression. This is the inner tray artwork you see beneath the transparent CD holder. It's minimalist compared to the dramatic tripod scenes on the exterior. Instead of action, It leans into mood and myth, the feeling of cosmic inevitability that defines Wells's story and Jeff Wayne's musical interpretation. Design and visual elements. 1. Dark, almost empty background. The entire backdrop is black or a deep charcoal gray. It creates a void-like space, an echo of the cold, silent gulf between Earth and Mars. This emptiness also provides a perfect stage for the single visual element. 2. The Martian eye or lens detail. Centered is a close-up artwork of a glowing, reflective shape, likely part of the Martian fighting machine's twin green eyes. It's abstracted to the point where it becomes almost painterly. The colors, green, yellow, a little orange, create a biological-mechanical hybrid feeling, which fits the story's strange techno-organic nature. The form also looks a bit like a planet seen through haze, which blurs the line between machine and celestial imagery. Text elements. The text is the real star of this panel, and it quotes a line that fans of the musical know by heart: "The chances of anything coming from Mars are 1,000,000 to 1. This line is written in a white, handwritten script-style font, intentionally scratchy and uneven, as if scribbled onto the void. It's a famous refrain from the narrator in the musical, and it serves as a kind of tragic irony. Humanity believes the odds are low, yet invasion is already underway. Some smaller, faint background scribbles add texture, like fragments of notes or scientific marginalia. They're not meant to be fully readable, just atmospheric." Website promotion. Below the quote, centered in soft green serif text, "Come see us at www.thewaroftheworlds.com." This is straightforward, but the color choice matches the green hues of the Martian eye, tying the design together. It also hints at the ongoing life of the musical, tours, updated productions, merchandise, etc. Barcode and identifiers. At the bottom center is a small printed catalog number, 886971060662. This matches the numbers on the outer packaging, confirming consistency across the release. Thematic tone. The tone here is subdued, eerie, and contemplative. Where the front cover shouts about giant machines and heat rays, this inside cover whispers the unsettling prophecy of the story. It's a moment of pause before the CD lifts and the tripods begin their thunderous march again. General impression. The disc design continues the visual language of the album: theatrical typography, dark space, and subtle science fiction touches. It's clean, minimal, and professional, more like a title plate than a picture field. Where the outer cover shows chaos, the disc shows identity. Design elements. 1. Dominant black background. The disc face is almost entirely matte black or deep charcoal, giving it a sleek, modern aesthetic. This black surface becomes a dramatic stage for the orange and red typography of the logo. It mirrors the darkness of space in the story, silent, cold, and looming. 2. Large album logo. The main artwork is the stylized title, Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds, with highlights from curved above it. The typography is flamboyant and slightly vintage, curved lettering with Victorian flair. This recalls theater posters, which is fitting because the album is essentially a musical drama recorded for audio. The orange and red tones contrast sharply with the black background, giving the title a fiery glow. It visually echoes the Martian heat ray scene on the front cover. 3. Central hub artwork. Around the transparent disc hub is a small circular illustration, almost like a miniature version of the tripod's head or mechanical interior. It's subtle, almost hidden unless you look closely. This is a visual signature of Jeff Wayne's releases, the idea that even the smallest parts of the packaging tie into the world building. Here it resembles gears and metallic panels, a cutaway view of alien machinery, or an abstract science fiction core. It adds a bit of narrative flavor to an otherwise typographic design. 4. Copyright block. Beneath the logo is a dense paragraph of rights and production text. It confirms Copyright 2007, Ollie Record Productions. Exclusively licensed to Sony BMG Music Entertainment. Made in the EU. This matches the other panels you photographed, confirming the entire set is the 2007 Highlights reissue. 5. Label logos and identification. At the bottom you see, Columbia. Sony BMG Music Entertainment. The ARP logo. Jeff Wayne's Company. Catalog number, 88697106062. Everything is consistent with the packaging. Thematic tone. The tone of the disc face is formal and iconic. Instead of showing more artwork or scenes from the story, it presents the title as if it were a brand burned into the void. The design says, "This disc is War of the Worlds." Where the other parts of the packaging give you imagery and atmosphere, the disc gives you identity and authority. It feels like the official seal of the Martian invasion.